Now let's talk about this Dave East and Harry Fraud project, HOFFA. Now, from the off the rip, I'm gonna get this straight. I'm gonna let y'all know, full disclosure, full transparency. I've never been a big Dave East dude or like that. You know, I've never really gravitated towards his music. Or shall I say his music never really gravitated towards me like that, even though he has a bunch of releases and, you know, I get requests, you know, sometimes to, you know, review his projects and things of that nature. You know, shout out to everybody out there who check in for my page and checking my album reviews out. And I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for subscribing and watching the video. I appreciate y'all. I just never really gravitated towards Dave East like that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And he has, like I said, he has a bunch of projects out. And, you know, I know a lot of people like him, but I just couldn't catch on to him. I don't know, for whatever reason. But yesterday, I was like, let me just check this out right here. Let me check out this new album because Harry Fraud is producing the whole project. And one thing that I can honestly say, in all honesty, I can say, along with producers, P.A. Dre, who's RJ Payne's producer, one of his go-to producers, Nicholas Craven, and Big Ghost LTD, Harry Fraud is the MVP producer of the year. I mean, Harry Fraud has been producing albums for this year, since this year dropped. He had a dope album he produced for Benny Full Solely, which was a very good album. And he also did Jim Jones' album, The Fraud Department. He's that dude right now. He's scorching hot. The guy is on fire, y'all. I have to say, I came out really liking this project right here quite a bit, quite a lot. The joint is called HOFFA. And it's basically, HOFFA is, if you don't know your history, Jimmy Hoffa was a labor union leader who had mafia ties. And therefore, he came up one day just missing. So I think it's safe to assume that we know what happened with Jimmy Hoffa, y'all. But the name of this album is called HOFFA. And to set it off, first song on the album is called The Disappearance. Therefore, see the connection between Hoffa actually disappearing in real life, body never to be found, and the first song on the album is called The Disappearance. Yo, this is like literally my favorite track on the album. It's an excellent opener. I took down my notes. It's an excellent opener. The saxophone on this joint, I'm a sucker and I love sax. Any hip hop songs that have a sax in it, I absolutely gravitate towards. And the saxophone on this song is undefeated. I love it. And then when the beat drops about, you know, a minute into the song, it's just timely and on perfect. Favorite song on the album. I love Harry Fraud's production on this one. One of my favorite lines by Dave East on this joint is when he says, dudes ask me, what's up with the music? I be acting. Lately, my clothes been vintage, not into the latest fashion. Feel I could breathe, not related to Tony Braxton. Track number 2, 60 for the Lawyer. Soulful beat right here. There's a female vocal loop on the song that's nice. I like that track. Track number 2, 60 for the Lawyer was nice. Track 3, Diamonds. So another soulful track. One thing about Harry Fraud's production is that it's real soulful. Whether you listening to Jim Jones' joint that he did, or Benny's album, or this project right here, or even the album that he, you know, has done for Currency, the production he's done for rapper Currency in the past and still does. Harry Fraud's production is very, very soulful, which I like that. Like I said, track 3 was Diamonds, a soulful track with a nice little mean bass line to it. Just Another Rapper, track number 4. This one right here is when Dave East kicks his double time flow. So the beat is a little bit more upbeat with kicks in the instrumental in the track. So, you know, if you like that double time flow, check for this one right here. Track 5, Go Off, featuring G Herbo. Track 6, Uncle Rick featuring Benny the Butcher. It was good to hear these two on the song together. It's more, the beat is more kind of like laid back. It's like a mafia style instrumental. Track 7 is The Product. Track 8 features Jim Jones and it's called Money or Power. And this song right here is fire. I love this beat right here. The instrumental is crazy. I think Jim Jones has a very nice verse. Lately, Jim Jones you can't go wrong with the Jim Jones verse. He's really stepped his game up, as I've said plenty of times. And, you know, Jim Jones gives an extremely quality verse on this song. The beat has a slick 1970s feel to it with strings, and it has like a soft melodic vocal sample throughout the song. Dave East was actually kind of lightweight floating on this song. Dave was in his pocket. He was floating on this song right here. And, you know, Jim was just floating too. Jim was ice skating while Dave East was floating on the track. Lyrically, Jim Jones was ice skating on the track. Jim did his thing. Money or Power, that was another one of my favorite songs right there. Track number 9, I Can Hear the Storm. Then also we have followed by track number 10, which is Dollar and a Dream featuring Stephen Young. Count It Up is track 11 featuring French Montana. And this one was surprisingly a song that I actually liked. I really did. I've never been a fan of French Montana, you know, never been a fan of French Montana music whatsoever. Despite the fact that French was on it, you know, I think, you know, this song was actually okay. It's just like a guilty pleasure of mine, me not being a French Montana fan like that. I thought that Dave shined on this verse, on his verse on the song, despite the fact of French trying to ruin the song with his slow, drunk flow on his verse and the hook, which French is giving you his slow, drunk flow on there. Believe it or not, French's hook and French's verse didn't bother me and didn't aggravate me as much as French's, you know, music normally does. So I could actually deal with it. I thought French, I'm not gonna say he did the track justice, but it was, you know, French was French. But I thought, you know, Dave East shined on this track despite the shortcomings of French Montana on the song. Track number 12, we have The Wind featuring Crutch Calhoun. Crutch Calhoun, I think I'm pronouncing that right. The beat was cool. It has a nice little female vocal sample used briefly throughout the song. So the beat was nice. Crutch Calhoun, I'm gonna be honest with you, this dude, thumbs down. He absolutely brought nothing at all to the song. So I could have did without his verse. But other than that, the beat was nice. And I think, you know, Dave was cool on it, you know. So take off Crutch Calhoun and it's a very nice song. 13, we get into the end of the album, track 13. Yeah, I Know, featuring King Shooter. This one is like a trappish kind of beat to it. The beat, you know, has a nice little piano, you know, used throughout. King Shooter, sort of like Crutch Calhoun. King Shooter brought absolutely nothing to the song. So, you know, if you're looking for King Shooter to add something to the song, get him out of here, because he really didn't. But, you know, the beat was, you know, the song was, you know, Harry Fraud production. Like I said, the beat, all the beats on here are nice. But, you know, it was cool. The beat was cool. But, you know, King Shooter, no, get him out of here. No. I like the beat, though. I did like the beat. And the final track on the album, 14, is Red Fox Restaurant featuring Currency. My man Spitter. Spitter had a nice, you know, Currency had a nice laid back verse, good verse as usual. Currency never lets me down, never lets us down when it comes to his lyrics and his capabilities on the mic. It was a nice piano laced track, and it was, you know, I felt it was a good way to close out the album. So overall, this joint HOFFA right here, very surprisingly, not surprisingly, because I know the quality of Harry Fraud's production, and Harry Fraud ain't gonna come out with no BS. Let's just call it for what it is. We're doing the old Source magazine rating 1 through 5, 1 being horrible, 5 being a classic. I'm giving this album a 3.5. I'm giving this album a 3.5. But Dave East, you know, he definitely did his thing. You know, I don't think Dave East is, you know, a top tier MC, you know, with the RJ Paynes and the Ransoms and the Conways and things of that nature. Dave East, I don't think he's coming close to those MCs right there. But I do think that Dave East is in not that second tier, that third tier. I think, you know, Dave did his thing, and I will give him his props. So shout out to Dave East on this joint. You got a nice banging album produced by producer extraordinaire Harry Fraud. So yo, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And like the video. If you don't like it, give me a dislike. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. I don't care. I'm going to continue to do my thing. And I will check y'all later. Peace.